Hello, beautiful souls. My name is Veronica. Today is November 15, 2025 at 3:37 p.m. I wanted to today before I discuss anything, I want to tell you and I have to emphasize this. You need to choose God first in everything you do. Everything you do, everything that you see, speak, hear, feel, you choose him first. You invite him in everything and every day of your life. Because he is going to guide you and ground you if you do so. Oh, I wrote a lot of stuff down because just trying to figure out how to articulate this and how to put my message out. Protecting your peace for yourself doesn't mean that you stop loving people. Not at all. It just means that you stop allowing people to disturb your emotional, your mental, your spiritual balance if you have worked so hard for it. In my case, I've done that for a long time. I was struggling. I worked hard to get where I'm at. Worked very, very, very hard. Challenges, heartbreaks, and stuff. And from the time I was young, I was just. So I worked hard to find my peace and acceptance, maybe letting things go. That's hard. Some of them are still there that I still hold on to because I'm still in processing. I'm still in the lessons of that journey that I have to figure out how to let it go or move forward from that. Sometimes you'll have people that you always put out to or work so hard for that relationship but it's never reciprocated back or disagreements and you try to always be the one to repair it. I just want you to know that forgiveness and distance can coexist. It is protecting your peace and their peace as well. Because if you can't protect your peace and you decide to continue it, then there is going to be at a point in time that the bitterness is going to surface and chaotic stuff is going to happen. So you do. So forgiveness and protecting your peace from a distance can coexist and it's okay. A lot of people think about forgiveness means that you have to allow that person right back in your life. It doesn't. It absolutely does not. Forgiveness is something that you do from your heart and your soul, and you're called upon to do so. Because if you're asking God to forgive, then if you can't, then what right do you have to ask for forgiveness? Think about that. You have a duty to forgive. It's not an easy step. It's a process. Believe me, I know. I know that. Forgive is something that you do in your heart, but it's allowing the person in order for them to have access is something that people earn with consistency and respect. Now, there's going to be some time that there was a disagreement, but it was never a disrespectful disagreement. It's just a simple disagreement. That was kind of like a healthy disagreement, but that person doesn't want to reciprocate and understand that part. You're not always right, and you're not always wrong. So there's boundaries that you have to set. So you just need to respect each other and everything, every day, and you do it in people's lives. Sometimes when you care and love so much for that individual, and you put that relationship, and you are the one that always put that effort, and you're the only one that reaches out, you're the only one that communicates, you're the only one that try to fix and repair things, can put a strain, and it drains you physically, mentally, emotionally, and sometimes spiritually. You can, because then you start thinking about that, but you can't allow that to happen. If you have a disagreement that has occurred, and you clearly at the end of the conversation, because you knew you no longer can talk, and you told that person multiple times, I can't talk about it, we're not going to discuss it, I love you, but I'm cutting this conversation short, or I love you, but we can't talk any further, and they chose to silence, then you know what their priority is. It chose silence not to repair, you know that they didn't choose you. If they chose silence, they chose it, not you. So basically, when the communication stops at their side, the connection stops on yours. When communication stops at their sides because they don't want to converse, but make sure that's true. You give them several days, you know, but don't reach out because you've already done your part. You've already said I love you multiple times, and they chose silence from that message saying that you love them, and they chose to silence and not even response. That's your answer. So when communication stops on their side, that connection stops with you. That means your job, your duty is not to judge because they chose that silence. You chose to forgive them. You chose you choose to forgive them, and you choose to love them from a distance. However, even though they've chose that silence, and when they are in an hour of need, they call upon you, it is your duty to be there and give them that support. You be there, help them out, do what you gotta do, because it is your duty to do that. Just as we ask God for forgiveness, and or we choose not to silence ourselves from God for whatever reason. I don't do that. I am a very I don't divert from Him. But some people do, and because that's how they feel, and they chose to silence themselves from God. But when they call Him upon that hour, He is there. So we have to do the same that He does for us. You cannot build that relationship alone. I've done it for so long. I've done it my entire life. I'm the one that reaches out. I'm the one that calls. Um, enough is enough. And because if I'm the one that continues to reach out and there's no response, that is their answer. They don't care about you. They just choose not to choose you. And that's okay. That is your choice. That's something that you cannot control. Your job is to accept them from who they are and love them from a distance and forgive them and place them in God's hands and pray for them. You do want to wish them well. Just because they chose not to choose you doesn't mean you have to be resentful and be bitter about it. You just have to just let them go. Don't be resentful and don't be bitter. Don't have be vengeful about it. It's the reality. That's the reality they have spoke loudly about. They obviously didn't choose to respond because that they made that decision. That's the answer. You can't carry both your weight and their silence. You cannot carry your weight and their silence. You need to just ignore that silence, and then you just put them in God's hand. I'm going to keep repeating that to you every time. You put them in God's hand and let Him do the work. You don't change or try to make a point or whatever, because then that's not going to go anywhere, because they already chose not to see the truth, or they already chose to just shut that door, they're battling battles. They're battling the battles, whatever battles they're battling. They're battling their inner battles. They're battling several battles, and you just have to like let them figure it out, let them have the battle, let God handle it, and let them go and love them from a distance. And there might be a point of time you might love them from a distance, and when they call you, you be there. But there are times you may not have that relationship back, and you may not have that conversation with them. Um, just make sure that your part, that your conscience is clear, because mine is. I've said I love you 3 times, and I didn't get that response, and so that their silence, their exit of the silence spoke loudly. Spoke that means they spoke loudly with that answer. That is their answer. And if they choose to exit loudly and have that silence, but they choose to come back in your life and work at it, that they have to do it. You already did your part. So you just let it go. When you set boundaries with that, it's not a punishment. It's not. It is not punishing them. You are actually protecting them. You're actually protecting yourself. Um, you're possibly protecting that relationship too, because when you set that boundaries, you're protecting that relationship, because if you don't, and you're upset and you become bitter because you keep chasing and chasing and chasing and trying to resolve, trying to solve it, and try to do whatever on your own, because you can't do it on your own. So you chose your peace, and you chose yourself to set that boundaries as protecting them, because you don't want the wrong things to be said. You gotta choose your words wisely, like I always say. So once you have set your boundaries and you chose yourself, you need to say a prayer for them and hope for the best and place them in God's hands and let Him do the work. You have no control of the toxicity they say that comes out of their mouth, or the thoughts that's in their brain. You have no control of their chaotic, crazy feelings. You have no control of that, because they're the one that's in processing. They're the one that's working whatever they're working. And you have to put them in God's hands, but it doesn't mean that you have to help them through it. They have to do them themselves, because you have already said multiple times and chased them, and they don't respond. They've already chose not to choose you. So you need to choose yourself and protect your peace and protect with the possibility of that relationship that you just salvage by choosing yourself. You chose yourself, and you're protecting them at the same time. And so it's okay. You can say love you. You can say I wish you well, but it doesn't mean you have to keep them close. Distance boundary is not bitterness. That's what I keep saying. It's okay, but make sure that you put God first in everything you do. Make sure you pray about it before you make a decision. And then when you decide to let that person go, then you wish them well and you put them in God's hands, and you love them and you forgive them. At the same time that they call upon you in the hour of need, it is your duty to respond to them and be there when they need you. Just as when we call upon God, He is there in hour of our need, and we need to apply that to them as well, because that's what we're here for. We're here not for our own, to enjoy life and conform to the world. No, we're here to be of service, and we're here to love each other. We're here to boost each other. We're here to learn whatever God wants us to learn. We're here to be an example. We're here to let people know that He is real. So we have to apply that, and we have to act upon that. Trust me, it's hard because we're human, but we gotta do our best. Love, forgive. Guys, this world is so chaotic right now, and everything that's in the book is about love and forgiving. We don't judge. That is not in your authority. That in my authority. That is in God's authority. That's the powers to be. He's the one that's processing. But you know what? Those things that you don't agree is exposing your true words of how you are. If you say some toxicity that comes out of your mouth, that is your heart. You're saying that you're showing your true colors. That is your heart that you're talking about. That's your spiritual, true spiritual being. You're negative and you say things about someone, your toxicity and stuff. Trust me, I am flawed in that too. But when I fight the fight, when I argue the argue, but I don't display toxicity, I always say, you need to be a beacon of light. You're taking that fire out of me, taking that energy out of me. Why can't you be a beacon of light? You've had all this good. I didn't just say it to a family, I said it to friends. I didn't even say it to my girlfriends. I didn't even say it to my worst enemies. You gotta be a light. You have to be a light. Why are you so negative all the time? Why are you putting that person down? Why are you judging that girl that was supposed to be your coworker, or that person that's supposed to be your friend? Now you're saying something negative just because they're not you. They don't have the same belief or perspective as you. We're like a big salad bowl. We're all different, and we're all gonna feel different. We're all gonna have a different journey, but doesn't mean that you stand right all the time. No, I'm wrong. I'm right. I'm wrong, and sometimes I'm in between. You know, but your heart, the words that you say, it comes out of your mouth. That's your true heart. That's he's exposing you. When someone repeatedly ignores you and you attempt to resolve a disagreement, well, okay, well, maybe you don't want to resolve that disagreement because you both have different opinions. That's your opinion, that's that person's opinion, but you reach down and say, hey, I love you, or hey, what's up, or if they don't respond, and you've done it multiple times, and you just stop. I say stop at three. One, two, three. Stop at three. Give it a day, give it 2 days, you say it. Give it a day, give it 2 days, and you say it. I love you. Hey, what's up? But if they chose to silence themselves, they're showing you their priorities. Don't judge their behavior. You're not judging their behavior. Just simply acknowledging the reality of that person that you have no control over, and you don't should never ever try to control someone. You just need to accept, but it keeps being repeated and repeated. And they drain so much out of you. You need to like let them go, forgive them, and love them again. Put them in God's hands. God is the one that has that control. He's the one that has to shape and mold them. He's the potter. He might pull a piece out of you. It might be painful, but he's designed to glorify him. No, no, trust me. I have been broken in so many pieces you can't even imagine. Some people probably have it way worse than I do, and I always think about that. They have it worse than I do, and I'm blessed. I'm blessed I have my sister in Christ. I mean, we fight all the time, but I don't have to chase after them. We chase after each other, and we love and embrace each other, and we forgive and we move on. You're going to have several arguments. You're going to have people who are going to continue to make mistakes, but you don't silence and close that door. But if they choose that, they chose that, they chose that. And you have to accept it, and you have to acknowledge it, and then you set your boundaries and you move on. Love and forgive and place him in God's hand. Let him do the work. And it's not for you to do, it's not for you to judge. You just accept them and you love them and you put them in God's hand and move on. Walk away. They don't need to be in your life. Chasing people who don't choose you is the answer that you have. That is your answer. They didn't choose you. So you need to stop, because you're the one's going to end up getting hurt, and you're the one's end up being bitter. Don't change your spirituality. Don't divert from God because that person didn't choose you. You should not have to conform to them. You don't worry about what they think about you. You don't worry about they didn't choose you. You don't get upset if they didn't choose you, because the person that you got to worry about that did not choose you is God. God will not choose you because you first made the move that you didn't choose him. You didn't choose him above everything. You didn't choose him to be the first priority of everything that you do in your life. that's when God will not choose you because you chose not to have a relationship with Him. So, same thing with us. He loves us, He forgives us, but He ain't going to choose you if you don't choose Him. So, you love, you forgive, you chose that person, but if they don't choose you, then you don't choose them. You change and choose you and choose your boundaries. You choose your peace because when you do, you're protecting them as well. Because that little possibility to salvage that relationship that they have to work on because you've already done your duty. You forgave them, you love them, and you put them in God's hand because you've already tried to reach out multiple times and they didn't reciprocate. Now they have to make the move. If they don't ever make the move, you need to wish them well in prayer, and you pray about them every day, and you love them every day, you forgive them every day. It doesn't mean you have to be in their lives and want to be in yours. Now, just say they do come back. You don't open the wounds. You don't shift blame. You just accept what is and you move. Because if that opens the wounds and you need and it's disgust because you already tried and they're not open minded and you're not open minded because they're not going anywhere, you need to let that situation go because you already forgave them for that. You don't need to bring it up. You don't need to bring their past up. I'm a flaw with that sometimes. Sometimes I bring it up. So I have to learn about that. But at the same time, I'm not the only one. They do it too. So it goes both ways. But I do try to change. I try to apply what I've learned in life. And I try to apply what I've learned from the Bible. I've tried to apply what God is trying to tell me. I cannot do it. And sometimes it's so hard. I make mistakes. I'm only human too. But it's really hard to bite your tongue. But you got, like I said, choose your words wisely. You know, if they decide to bring it up, you gotta take a breath. Let them have their say. If whatever they think to bring up, but listen. But make sure they don't cut you off. I have that. My family member, they like to listen to the sound of their voice, and they just think they're right all the time, and they just cut you off because they can't hear, which is beyond me. I am a deaf person, and I apply to listening skills for someone who has full hearing, and they can't even use it properly. It's totally amazing. I think it's funny. I think it's really funny. When you decide to let people go, you've given it all your heart, all your soul. You've given everything you've got for so long. And now you're choosing you. I'm choosing me. My God, people are going to flip out. It's too bad. Because enough was enough. Because I can't give anymore. I have to focus my giving to God. My second, my giving to my husband. My husband, uh, God, I choose him above anybody and everyone. That includes my husband. I choose him. I choose him above everybody, even my own and my own husband, my own flesh and blood. I choose him. Second person I choose above everybody, my husband. Because he has been my rock. And he is the one that's empowering me and educating me how God is and how he is be. God put him in my life so I can open my eyes to truth. God opened it in my life so I can have an understanding about him. That it's okay that I question the Bible. It's okay that I have doubts because I'm still learning as I read the Bible for the very first time in my life because no one has done that in my family. No one's actually read through the Bible. I'm reading through the Bible. The thirdly, that I choose above everything is all my charities. The people that are hungry, the people that are mourning, the people that need simple help, people that have cancer. I choose that above everything, and everything else is last. I chose my last. I chose myself like I've always done that. But this time, with this part of the situation, I'm choosing me. And I don't feel bad about it because I have chosen. I put everybody first above my own feelings, above my own heartbreaks, above my own trauma, above everything I have gone through, above where it's unbelievable. But I'm not bitter of all the challenges that I have in my life because I was being molded. God did that. That's what I'm talking about. He is the potter. He'll rip a piece out of you because it is to glorify Him. And He's putting something better, putting something different in you, something better. Don't ever question it because something great is going to happen, or He's preparing you for something that's to come because something is coming. Something is coming. There's a phrase that I saw and says, letting people go quietly when they remove themselves so loudly. So when you let them go quietly, you're letting them go quietly in your own peace. You don't have to say, hey, I'm letting you go. No, you're closing that chapter. You're closing that door. And it's okay to close that door because you're choosing yourself. Again, you're choosing to protect them as well. And wishing the best and put them in God's hands and pray for them and love them from a distance. And what it means when they remove themselves so loudly, their silence speaks volumes. Your answer is their silence. So do it 3 times to reach out. If they don't respond, that's your answer. Their silence is their answer. That's a loud answer, and you need to accept it and just move on. You can love them from a distance. You can forgive them from a distance. But it means you have to reconnect. But they have to reconnect. They're the one that has to do it, not you, because you've already done. They've already given you that silence, but now they have to do it. They have to do the work. You've done it for too long. You've done it for too long, so now they have to do it. But they call you upon the hour of need. You gotta be there. That is your duty. That is your duty. If you're not to judge them, you just put them in God's hand and love them and wish them well. Don't judge them. You don't know what's going on with that. Maybe, I don't know. They have their own demons they gotta work out and they have to figure it out themselves. You don't figure it out for them. You don't try to change them because that's not what you're here for. You're here to love and forgive and accept. But it doesn't mean you have to reconnect. They have to reconnect. I didn't close that door out of anger. I didn't close that door out of vengeance. I didn't close that door to make my point. I didn't close that door to be hurtful. I didn't close any of that door. I close it because I chose me. I close it to protect them. I close it so I can have my peace. I can focus on, on God and my husband and all the stuff that the people need. Love, caring, whatever they need. That's me. But if they decide to knock at that door, I will open it and see what happens. But they're the one that has to knock. They have to knock that door. They chose to exit the heart of my hearts. They chose to exit, and then I close the door because that's what they chose. They chose to exit from my heart of hearts. I simply closed the door. I didn't shut it and slam it. Out of love and grace and compassion and put them in God's hand, I close it with gentleness, with love. I tell them to be a beacon of light, and I have to forgive, and I have to accept and close it for a distance, whether it's short, whatever is permanent. If they decide to knock on that door, calling from you, whatever you want to say, and you open it. If they're calling because they need your help, you do what you got to do your service, you love them, forgive them, and then you come back, and then you close that door again until they knock to make sure they want that reconnection back with you. They made the choice to exit out of your hearts. They made the choice to exit out of your life. They chose it, and we just simply closed it. It's never locked. We just closed it. And see, hear a knock, we'll stand up and walk. If they want to reconnect, we want to embrace them with love. If they keep doing it over and over, there are times you might have to lock that door. Just depending on your situation. My situation wasn't severe, it was just a different opinions, you know? You're allowed to let go. You're allowed to stop chasing. You're allowed to protect your peace. You're allowed to choose people who choose you back, to make sure that you choose God first above anything and everything else. Silence with their distance and their answer, their exit from your heart. The choices they made by them. You didn't force it. They did it themselves. The distance, the boundaries were set because you're seeing the reality and the truth. Everything was the truth, and you saw it. The colors, the true hearts, the true words. I think I should have saw this coming. Should have. But I've always have a soft spot, and I always walk people back in my life, even though they abuse me or whatever, take what they can take. I gotta forgive 77 times and love them. My job is not to judge them. Mm. I have a big heart, really do. So I want to close that. It's okay to choose you. Just make sure that you pray about everything that you do and decisions that you make. And when you decide to close that door, and you converse with God and let Him know what's going on. But you have to forgive. Because if you don't forgive, then you have no right to ask Him for forgiveness. Because we sin against Him every day. Every day, sometimes all day. So you gotta choose God above everything else. And the person that's your rock and your safe haven, you choose that person. And the people that need you, whoever else you want to choose in your list, we're all different. My list is different from yours, and that's okay. That makes me me. I am who I am. I'm a strong woman. I've been through a lot of challenges, and I've been through challenges because that was His design. I'm an example of that. Have I flawed and got upset with those designs? Yes, I'm human. I had a moment after a while. Sometimes it took me years to get there. But it's okay to choose you. It's okay to make your boundaries. It's okay to let people go. It's okay. Just don't do it in a bitter way. You're just simply closing that chapter and you're moving on. So you're no longer giving the best of you to someone who doesn't want you anymore. Someone that made their point across by silencing them, especially after you said I love you multiple times, or say I'm sorry multiple times, or you try to resolve a situation. No. I give them 3 and that's it. So when I give them 3 and they respond back to me, is that relationship going to be perfect? No. What's going to happen again? We're going to have disagreements. Just like my sister in Christ. They're the ones on my rock. They're the one that's been there through me, thick and thin. We fight, but we love each other. And we accept each other. what it should be. That's how it should be. We'll laugh about it now, but if they don't, if they keep silencing, that's their choice, honey. They made that choice. Now you got to set boundaries and close that door, and then you move on. Okay? So love, forgive from a distance. You don't have to reconnect. They're the ones that gotta do it. But you can make that choice. Do you want to go through it again? Sometimes we have to because God does it to us all the time. We reconnected with Him and then we hurt Him. We reconnect with Him and we hurt Him. But He still embraces us. He still loves us. So we have to do the same. Really, we absolutely have to do the same because we do it to Him every day, all day. You know, when I get mad, I'm hurting Him. When I say something bad, I'm hurting Him. But He still loves me. He still reconnects with me. I'm still reconnecting with Him. So you gotta make sure that you're doing that. But sometimes if this starts tearing you away from Him, then you really need to stop that connection. You have to, because you need to be in line with God. So anyway, I'm gonna close this because I think I kind of like lagged it along. So I love you. Be a beacon of light and hope. And please help those in need that's out there. I don't care what you do as long as you're being of service. And have a beautiful, wonderful Thanksgiving. Be thankful every day. Be thankful every day. God bless. Bye bye.